Hello, my name is John Vessels. I'm delighted that you are going to be leading a small group through the Missing Jesus, Finding the Shepherd We Lost journey. You are either an established small group, you're its leader, or else the church that you belong to is going on this journey together and they have assigned you as a small group leader for the breakaway groups, or you perhaps have started a new group for the purpose of this journey. This video is going to help you prepare for this journey. If you have any issues, please let me know on this website using the form that has been provided. So without further ado, your role as a small group leader. You remember the last time you learnt a new skill, perhaps when you learned how to drive a car. It's overwhelming at first. There's so many things you have to be thinking about all at the same time. Getting the clutch and accelerator coordination right, watching for other cars, watching the curb, watching for pedestrians, watching for robots, indicating, all at the same time. It can feel very overwhelming. Being a small group leader can feel overwhelming. At first, there are many things that you're needing to be thinking about all at the same time. In fact, in this video, I'm going to propose that you think of yourself in 6 different ways. I want to suggest that you think of yourself as a facilitator. Facilitator is an essential role when a group is together. You are there to help make sure that the experience is a good experience and that people go on the journey and enjoy going on the journey, that it's a good journey for them. It's an essential role. Essentially, you've got to be paying attention to the group dynamics. Is the group gelling together well? Are they working well together through the themes of the book? You will want to encourage some of the quieter people, giving them space to have a voice. You will want to control some who are usually dominating the group. You will want to make space for diversity of opinions. That's very important, particularly in this Missing Jesus journey, because it's about modern day discipleship. Different people are going to think differently. You might have to agree to disagree on certain things. You've got to allow for space for diverse opinions as you facilitate the group. Think of yourself as a leader. Every group does need a leader. It does need to feel led. It helps people feel secure. So be a strong leader steering the journey, even if you're not a dominant leader, but know where your strength comes from and lead well. In this journey, pay particular attention to starting on time, leading the group through all of the 4 W's that I suggest: the welcome, the worship, the word, and the works. I suggest those in the 7 simple steps document that I've given you on this website on using this Missing Jesus material in a small group. The other thing to pay attention to is bringing the conversation back on track when it has wandered off. A small group often does wander off and talk about things that are irrelevant. You need to bring them back. Be careful of red herrings. Be careful of cliches in the discussion. Let the conversations be real. Let the conversations be relevant. And then if you are going to be giving people homework to do, things that they are meant to read before the next time you meet, at the end of each session, just make sure everybody's clear about what their homework is. Think of yourself as the most prepared person in the group. You need to be 1 step ahead of everyone in the group in the journey. You need to read the chapter and make sure you understand the chapter in preparation for the group gathering. You need to go through the website and have a look at the 2 videos, the high altitude and the low altitude overview of the journey that I give, the 7 steps document that I've just referred to. You need to go through the questions at the end of each chapter before your group meets. You need to go through those questions, familiarize yourself with those questions. You can't use all of those questions each week. You need to choose some of them. The more that you're familiar with the questions, the easier you'll be able to use them. Please remember that the questions that I've set deal with the material at different levels. There's questions that relate to understanding. There's questions that relate to application. There's questions that relate to how is the person able to put into practice what they've learned. There's questions that deal with an emotional response so that the person's not just thinking about things. So when you're selecting the questions, make sure you select questions from each of those 4 levels. For example, don't just select questions for understanding. That will just irritate the group because it'll all be the same kind of revision. So these are the ways in which you need to prepare and be the most prepared person beforehand. In your role as a small group leader, think of yourself as a Bible study leader. It amazes me actually how many small groups meet without actually studying the Bible. It dismays me, in fact. So I have set a Bible study aside in the questions for discussion at the end of each chapter. Please do that study. Read the passage of scripture that I've suggested. Read it in a few translations like the New Revised Standard Version, the New International Version. Read it in paraphrase versions like the Message or the Living Bible or the Good News Bible as well. If you have people whose first language is not English, read the Bible in their language also. In all of this way, you're going to be able to encounter scripture, and that's so vital. Then do the discussion questions. You'll find it a very meaningful part of your journey. In your role as a small group leader, think of yourself as a pastor of the group that you are leading. Be aware of their needs, their difficulties, their issues. See what you can do to be of help to them. See what your group can do to be of help to them. It's not just up to you. As a pastor, you'll be creating a caring community. That's a very powerful thing for you to do. Be available for the members of your group so that you can talk to them before or after each meeting. If it's a new group, learn their names and use their names from the beginning without having to refer to a sheet. If somebody misses a week, then follow up with them. See how they are, what's going on, and follow up in whatever's best way for you to do, WhatsApp or SMS or phone call. Make sure the experience is enjoyable. Let it be fun, let there be humor, let there be caring in the atmosphere. Those are important ingredients for it to be a group that people want to keep coming back to. And then lastly, but perhaps most importantly, your spiritual preparation. Don't try and do this on your own strength. Rely on the Spirit, be prayerful, rely on the inspiration the Spirit supplies, the empowerment, the gifts that the Spirit will give you for this, the fruit that the Spirit will give you for this. Be prayerful, pray before each meeting, pray after each meeting, reflecting on how it went. Pray for your group members during the week. In this way, it's going to be more than just a study you're doing together. It's going to be a real life journey together, and you're going to be their pastor through this journey. What a treat. Think of yourself as a multiplier. So here I'm suggesting how you can take the effort you've put into this small group journey and multiply its effectiveness. Is there perhaps, for example, somebody in your group who can lead the same material with another group at a later stage, the next year perhaps? Could you do that? Start a new group the next year and lead that group through what you've already learnt. So these are important questions for you. Are there ways in which the rest of your congregation can benefit from the group journey that you have been on? You've put a lot of effort into this. Use the creation principle of multiplication to seed what you have done and have a further harvest and a greater kingdom impact. So think of yourself as a facilitator, a leader, the most prepared person, a Bible study leader, a pastor, and a multiplier. It sounds like a lot. It is a lot. But the Spirit of God will take what you offer and make it something really beautiful for His kingdom on this journey that you lead your small group. God bless you.